Courageous love now. Courageous love now. Courageous love now. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Courageous Lara here, back with some more courageous love now. Welcome, guys. January 1st, 2021, and I am here with you, wanting to drop into some inspiration, contemplation, meditation. Little exhale as we arrive on this new day, the first moment, the first day of the rest of our life, which is essentially like every day, because every day is a new now, even though it follows a calendar of 365 days. It can happen that any day starts like a new year, depending on your perspective. And everything is a matter of perspective. That was something that I wanted to delve into with you today. I've been reflecting over the course of these last days, ending our year, feeling the heightened emotions of the holidays, the expectations, the love, the light, feeling the old passing, the new emerging, feeling the days short, the darkness long, and with that, a reflection of shadow and light, and fear and love. In the journey of the course of my last months, there has been, well, I would say years, there has been a lot of reflection on shadow and light, and more so over the course of the last 6 months, as I started to tap into a collective, a narrative that was not that of the main narrative that we are fed throughout the world in media, and I would say in a mainstream collective as well. So I've always been one to reach into the alternative, to question the narratives, question authority. And with that, I discovered insight and new light that followed numerous different input on an alternative to what is the mainstream. Now, even looking at those words and understanding what alternative means or mainstream means, when I think of a river and there's a big artery of a river that's flowing, there's always little branches off of this main flow to smaller flows that fill up streams, smaller rivers, little ponds, etc. And I kind of feel as though that's a little bit what is happening in the collective. There is a main flow of energy that has been circulating, and where a lot of the focus and the emphasis has gone over the course of not only 1 year of 2020, but many years, hundreds of years, centuries. And I feel as though these little branches are getting more seldomly, are popping up more seldomly, and that those branches are getting stronger. And as I feel into that right now, it's almost like a neural pathway in your brain that begins not only like a small pathway, but then it starts to grow the more that you use it. So this flow of consciousness, this flow of collective consciousness, it has some division happening in it, some branching off, and it's creating new little stems, little flows of energy. And those flows now are getting bigger so that they are becoming also a large branch of flow and energy and consciousness. And within that, there is new stimuli, there is new thought, there is new reflection, there is new communication. And that, for me, is where new light is filling up areas of darkness. So we know that science over the course of many years has been demystifying religion, demystifying the unknown. And at the same time, science is supporting and proving the unknown, the unseen, and not only demystifying it, but giving it clarity to show that what I or someone else might say is, oh, I can feel this, I can sense this, the six senses, the seven senses, the 4D, the 5D realms of consciousness, we are now seeing are becoming clearer because not only are the alternative, the weirdos, the wackos, the freaks that are tapping into this, but many others that are in the main flow, the main artery of consciousness of humanity are are peeling off and taking a flow into a new avenue, and something is turning on. Now, I know that was a lot of analogies to tap into what I'm trying to say, but I think you follow. And my point in bringing this up is the shadow and the light, because I feel that these avenues of collective consciousness are flows of light energy. Light meaning consciousness, truth, awareness, elevation of mind, body, connection. And that awareness, the more that we tap into it, the more that we give it space to flow inside of us as an individual, the more that we are helping that avenue of light, of energy, of thought, of consciousness on the collective. And we are branching out like a collective brain of this humanity, turning on, tapping in growth, consciousness, and light. So as much as we can acknowledge the shadow, and of course, the shadow starts within each of us because each one of us has areas that we don't want to look at, that we've tucked away, way down deep inside our minds, our bodies, our energy bodies, wounds, failures, mistakes, regrets. All of these things that right now, the more that there is light and there are new avenues opening up, we are having to face those areas of ourselves because that light that is turning on inside of us is also happening on the collective. So, all the systems that have been functioning and working in humanity that we know, the systems of thought, the systems of education, the systems of spiritual narratives, the thoughts of and flow of journalistic narratives, the thoughts and flow of government narratives, all have are all in a moment where there is a revelation and we have a spotlight going on them to question them because this waking up of a collective can't happen unless all of these systems are having a light shined on them to really inspect, are they serving the whole, are they serving the individual, are they helping us to elevate, and are they helping us to truly access and reach our potential? And there's a big word, potential. What is our potential? Something that I have been contemplating, meditating, and feeling into for years because I grew up having a lot of self doubt, a lot of issues with self worth. And as much as I have pushed myself to be a risk taker, a motivator, to shine light and love in life, and I used philosophy and my spiritual connection throughout my life to really ignite and push me past my fears. But somehow that little Achilles heel that's been, you know, sliced or cut is still showing up in my life. And that weakness, that fear that you might say, is that kind of yin and yang. There is a dance constantly with our fear and our love, with the shadow and the light that makes us who we are. And we can't be one without the other. So instead of thinking as though I have to get rid of my self-worth issues, my self, my fears or my insecurities, I need to go deeper into them, to shine the light on them and to embrace them. And it's the same way that the shadow and the light works within the collective and the individual. The same way that love and fear have a dance that are continuous. About a year and a half ago, I wrote a song. I actually purged a song through my dark night of the soul, my journey through the dark night of the soul of my life. It was, I think, in February 2017. So that's, wow, 4 years ago now. And I was going through the hardest chapter of my life at a spiritual level. And I had lost all connection, all hope. I had severed myself from anything that I understood to be unity and a collaborative with the unknown. And I felt isolated and alone and full of fear. And at the same time, when I reached that dark pit inside myself, when I really hit rock bottom and I bounced back up, which has happened a couple times throughout my life, that motivation and that conviction that burst inside me, that reminder that I needed to be courageous. I needed to find the courage to go into the darkness of myself. I needed to find the courage to go into finding hope and love and light again while I was feeling hopeless and in the dark. And in these moments of disconnect, I trusted that there was connection. I didn't have a name for it. I didn't want to put a name on it. I didn't want anyone to tell me what it was. I didn't seek a guru. I didn't look in self-help books. I just had to trust myself. Me, this little tiny transmitter that was shut down. My satellites, all my abilities to connect to anything outside myself was turned off. And I had to just be still with this, like going down into the earth, like a little seedling, and just take the nutrients of the simplicity of life and fill me up until I was at a point again to be ready to reach my branches out of my seeds and grow. And this song that I purged was called I Don't Want to Be Afraid Anymore. And I ended up, I think, turning on my camera one night while I was tossing and turning within, and finally just had a purge of my emotions that came out in song form on a video. I never posted it, I never shared it, but I watched it many times because there was a truth coming through me in this moment. It was enough is enough. I didn't want to be afraid of myself. I didn't want to be afraid and alone in the darkness. And I knew that I had to dig deep. I knew that the truth was inside me. And I just had to trust it. And that, I believe, was the true moment when the word courage came through me. This 4-year journey to come to creating a podcast called Courageous Love Now, which has, if you've listened to my earlier episodes, you've gotten little pieces of what that is all about. But what I wanted to really go into today was love and fear and the shadow and light. And this dance, when I think of yin and yang, when I feel into Hmm. The opposing forces that are a part of this life that we are in. And there is a time for everything. And I have searched and researched and looked into all different narratives over the course of the last 6 months. And I would say at the beginning of March, when this new journey of 2020 started. And that narrative pushed me into a place of many arrays and arenas and brought a lot more fear into me. A fear that was not only a part of me, but that I was seeing as a layer of the collective. And I was afraid of the narrative of what that meant for the future. And as much as I have been about love and hope and peace and compassion and light throughout my life, there isn't to say that there have been moments that I have been afraid. And here I was living this true, raw, visceral fear around me. And one more time, I had to push myself into being courageous to find love again. And that's within my relationships, with my partner, with family members, with friends, with my relationship to the divine, to the unknown, to the spiritual realms, to God, whatever you call it. It was to find trust and to be very specific. And I think that that was something that came through around the idea of claiming your sovereignty. And I know I've spoken about this in one of my earlier episodes as well, of like taking my power back and stating what I do and don't accept. And I've had that in my mind kind of circulating on the back burner for weeks. And funny enough, a few nights ago, it was in between Christmas and New Year's Eve, I had a dream. It was one of my last dreams of my cycles of the eve of the night, and I remember waking up. And there was some kind of flowing white dressed woman with long flowing hair, kind of ethereal looking. Some might call it like an angelic vision. However, it was very dark, even though it was with flowing long hair and a long white gown, you could say. It was kind of reaching towards me, and there was this kind of spark in the eye that looked devious and unkind and unloving. And I remember kind of reaching out, and maybe I even reached up in my sleep, reaching out to kind of touch it because I felt that it was something beautiful. And I think I've been in my mind reaching out to talk to my angels and my guides that I know are there. And I have not yet gotten clear who they are yet, but I know they're there. I felt like it was a moment of in my sleep realm where I was trying to reach out. And then I realized it was a nefarious being. And I remember clearly in my dream saying, no, I do not condone, I do not consent. No, you cannot have access to me. And it was like within moments, seconds, she just faded away and disappeared. And I think it was short after that that I woke up. And I remember that whole day, it was like, I do not consent. I do not condone your presence in my realm. Huh. And that goes in with this discussion of fear and love. Because in the reflection, if we think of things that are evil, bad, dark, satanic, Luciferian, uh, um, nefarious alien life forms, nefarious energies, whatever it is that you're tapping into that could be of that realm. We don't know when we're asking for help who might just show up and be of guidance and service. And it's a mind thought and a concept that I haven't really thought about because I've never been super articulate about who I was asking or that there was a way that just anybody could show up. So getting very clear about who I want to call into my realms. And that is who, what, when, where, how. The future. Here we are on January 1st, the future of what we are calling into our realms, the energy realms, the spiritual realms, the ethereal realms, the physical realm? What do I want to manifest in my life? What do I want to manifest in the physical realm, the material realm? Do I want to get a new house, buy a new car, have a new job? So these are things that we can see, but what are we calling into our energy realms? What are the human beings and the energetic vibrations that we are attracting into our life? Are those energies that are attaching to our fears, or are they energies that are connecting with love and light? And that has become even more clear to me as I got a chance to explore the shadow, the fear, and the darkness. I realized that I somehow was a participant of calling that into me because I had a hit, because I had lost my trust, I had lost my faith in my spiritual path. I was able to go into a place of total disconnect, like a spiral downwards. And I got to reflect on what that was. What is the darkness? What is the shadow? And I decided that I wanted, and I felt way better in the light. I work way better in love because I know that that is the place that I can access my true potential. So, in this reflection of love and light, in this reflection of shadow and fear, I invite you to just take a moment to contemplate. Where are you at in those spectrums of however you see it? Who are you calling in? What are you calling in? What frequency? What vibration? What angel? What guide? What force are you calling in to your realm? Are you supported? Are you in love? And are you very clear that you get to decide? No one else can decide what you want to make and manifest your life to be. You get to be the creator, the fantasizer, the imaginer of your wonderland, of your future timeline, and the narrative that you want to live by. And there's so many possibilities. It's infinite. And I believe that right now also this planet, from what I understand and what I can certainly feel, that there is so much light that is being shown onto this planet, that flow of collective consciousness is beaming, that it's bursting through the seams, and hence why there are so many streams of alternative consciousness that is opening up. Because that mainstream can't survive anymore. Because it's an illusion. It's fake. It's something that has been fed to us that is not of authentic nature. It's like bad fast food. And anyone who knows nutrients, you know when you eat a meal that was made from beautiful homegrown organic nutrients with love, and you eat that food, oh my goodness, it feels night and day to what fast food, plastic, fantastic food tastes like. And that is what's happening with the light that is being shown through the earthly filters of consciousness right now. Those that are hungry for real love, light, consciousness food are going to smell it, are going to open up to it and say, yes, feed me with this, feed me with truth. And those that are happy eating fast food will continue devouring this emptiness that is the mainstream narrative. It takes courage to find your truth. It takes courage to listen to your potential and to trust that you are being led by that potential and that truth. And that's something that you have to choose. I take my power back. I do not consent to that which looks beautiful and ethereal, but that which my intuition is telling me is nefarious. Know who those are that are coming, I guess you would say, in a costume with a mask on, literally. Know those that are speaking beautiful falsities in your ear, the manipulators, those that want to blind you. Pull back yourself and listen to your truth. Question everything, everything, even those that are on the alternative path. Don't all know the truth. Do not all speak the truth. Question everything you listen to, question everything you watch, and if it doesn't resonate with you, do not digest it. Do not put it in your system. Listen to your truth, your potential, your narrative. Create that timeline that you want, that brings you into a now reality that is full of courage and love. This now reality of January 1st, 2021, it is anew. And we are making and manifesting our world one thought at a time, one breath at a time, one moment of consciousness after moment of consciousness after moment of consciousness. Be the observer of who you are. Be the witnesser to that which tries to enter your fields. The ethereal, the energetic, the vibrational, the cellular, the molecular, that which enters your digestive system and your six senses. Choose what you want to enter you. Choose courageous love now. A moment of stillness, a moment of gratitude, a moment of gratitude for all that which is guiding, all that which is coming through, all that which is present when you just stop to feel it and listen to it. I really felt like coming here today. I had no idea what was going to come through until I put the microphone on and closed my eyes and just streamed. I channeled what is here and now with me. I hope it is here and now with you, whatever time that you tap into this podcast. And if you have enjoyed this podcast or any of those before it, I think this marks number 3. Please subscribe and share, like, follow, and come back and visit me again. I'm putting a calendar together to start having some wonderful interviews with amazing people that have been huge inspirations in my life. Coming soon on this podcast, and we'll be back, I don't know when, but within the next week or so, with more of courageous love now. Courageous love now. See you soon, guys. Peace, love, and light. Courageous Lara, over and out.
Hello, all you beautiful listeners. It is that time for a little shameless self-promotion. If you've enjoyed this podcast or any of the previous podcasts I have recorded, I would be so grateful if you could subscribe and rate and possibly review down below. So whatever your podcast listening app is, there is usually an area where you can leave a review of what you thought. Even just a few words can make a huge difference. And as I am new to podcasting, it will make even a bigger difference to just get the word out there and also see what you thought. Thanks so much for your support and keep on listening.